Hey, this is Bishal Sarkar. In this video today, you're about to discover one mistake that you can call it a small mistake or a silly mistake that many people do when giving feedback that I want you to avoid if you want to have more influence, better persuasion, and if you want higher career growth. And overall, if you want to be happy with other people. If you want that, check out this video now.
Thanks for this awesome video.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
I'm a man on a mission. I'm a man on a mission. I don't need no permission. I'm a man.
Wow, I learned quite a lot. What I could understand, I learned, and I could see the difference.
Bishal Sarkar here. Recently, I brought a small dog to my home. I did not adopt it, I just brought it home. By the way, in case you don't know, I feed between 22 to 25 dogs every single night. Generally, few times a day, every single day. And all of them are street dogs. I go to different places and I give them, food, right? The reason I mention that to you is because it has a profound lesson for you if you are any kind of a senior manager or a leader and you want to give feedback to people in the right way, or also in case it's not just about your professional life, about your personal life also, because sometimes you have to give feedback to your children, your wife, your husband. Be careful about giving feedback to your wife, but whatever you do, I'm going to tell you a small mistake that you can avoid if you want to. If not, that's completely fine. It's your life, you can make the choice. Okay, I can make the choice for my life, you can make the choice for your life. So I thought I would bring this puppy to my home, and it's probably 1 year old, and as you know, the dogs, when it's 1 year, it's not no more a puppy, it's bigger than a puppy. So it was having, I like it, I like this dog a lot, and I brought him in. That's a male. So I gave him a shower outside, and it was a little hesitant in taking the shower. I had the exact shampoo that I have generally. I gave the shampoo and the soap, and I cleaned it up completely, cleaned him up, and I took him into my arms, into my lap, and I brought him inside the home because now it was completely cleaned up. Oh, by the way, yeah, I took a towel and I made sure that it became not completely dry but a bit drier after the shower, and then I brought him inside the home. And the moment I brought him inside, I showed it to my father from a distance, and my father was just, the moment he said, he was not happy. I mean, I was like bubbling with energy, like, see, I just brought him in. And my father was like, it will bite you, it will bite you, it will bite you, right? Now the thing is, one thing probably my father does not know or understand, I don't understand that, which is I have been with dogs for quite some time now. I understand dogs. Of course, by the way, I have been bitten by a dog many years ago. That's an entire story. For those of you who are part of my course, you know that story about the man-dog conflict, about how it relates to public speaking. But my father was constantly saying, it will bite you, it will bite you. So basically, think about this situation. I am so happy with the dog, and I'm trying to share that happiness with somebody, and that person is not only, they are not happy, they are trying to give me fear with the right intention, but they are trying to give me fear. Doesn't that happen sometimes in your life? You go out to share some good news with somebody. Maybe it's a colleague you trust, maybe it's a family member, maybe it's a good friend, it's a neighbor, or maybe it's a stranger. You get something and you share with other people, and they give you fear instead of happiness. How does that make you feel in that moment? Of course, not happy, right? So I remember he was telling so often that I took the dog outside after a little while, and I left him on the street. The reason I shared this story with you is the question I have for you right now is, I understand the intention of my father, right? Look, don't try to teach me that. What I'm telling you right now is this. Are you making the same mistake? One thing I want you to understand is this. A good advice with the right intention at the wrong time can backfire. A good advice with the right intention but at the wrong time can backfire. If you give a good advice, maybe you have a good intention of telling something to somebody, but if you're giving it at the wrong time, it can backfire. They might not like that advice, they might also not like your way of giving that advice. understand this thing. I'm going to be a little harsh now, and this is not about you, this is not about my father, this is not about me. In general, I'm saying, do takke ke advice, stop giving that to people all the time. Do takka ka advice, 2 cents of 2 penny of advice, 2 cents of advice. Don't stop giving that all the time. You know, I see people all the time. Maybe it has happened to you. You buy a car, or maybe you buy a phone, and you show it to other people, and they'll be like, yeah, why did you get this phone? You know, there is a better phone. They get into the advice mood instead of sharing that happiness. Or maybe you buy a new car and you say, you know, I got this new car. They say, oh, okay, fine, but this color, dude, nobody asked them for the advice. And you know what, this is the same thing that happens in relationships, personal relationships, right? It can happen in office, it can happen between friends, it can happen in social circle, it can happen at parties, it can happen online, offline, everywhere. What I'm trying to tell you is this: connection first, correction second. Connection first, correction second. If somebody is doing something that you don't like, maybe connect first. How? By appreciating about something they're happy about for the moment. Imagine for a moment just now, of course my father is a great father, and you know he is one of the inspirations of my life, but imagine for a second, when I took the dog in my hand and I showed it to my father, what if my father said, wow, you're really happy with the dog, great, enjoy. And I enjoy, and later on, maybe at night, my father can say, you know, you are very happy in the afternoon, if you don't mind, can I share something with you from my experience? Do you think I'll say no? I'll say, yeah, absolutely, Papa. And then he will say, he could have said that, you know, sometimes the dogs can bite you, be careful. I'm saying it because I want the best for you. In the afternoon you are very happy, I did not want to break your happiness. I would be more receptive to that feedback. Does that make sense? And next time also, I'd be more receptive to any future feedback as well. When you want to give feedback to people, make sure you're giving it at the right time. When somebody is happy, when their state is high, I'm happy, right? At that time, giving a negative feedback and installing fear is not the right thing to do. It can backfire. People can stop listening to your feedback. And just because you're married does not give you the license to give whatever feedback whenever you want to your wife or husband or children or parents or friends. You don't get the license for that. You have to understand, it's an art. One art is giving the feedback, and one art is actually understanding when to give the feedback and when to shut up. Silence is rarely misunderstood. So give the feedback at the right time. I think it will change your life, and that's something that I do. Oftentimes, you know, it happens in my personal life, in my professional life, I mean. Some of my team members are making mistakes. I don't catch them at that time. You know, they are doing something enthusiastically wrong. I have to let them make that mistake for a little while, not for a long time, not for an entire week. For a little time, they'll be happy, and then later on I can correct. Connection first, correction later. Most people want to correct first. Let me tell you why you are wrong. Let me tell you why your idea will never work. Let me tell you why this is a ridiculous idea. Let me tell you why I know everything. Nobody likes person like that. Okay? Connection first, correction second. I hope that tip helps you. Bishal Sarkar here, always reminding you that influential speaking is not about perfection. It's all about connection.